With 2023 in the rearview mirror, the Colts firmly in their offseason right now. It's time to start looking towards 2024 in terms of what we know we have, right? We've had some talks about, trades and drafting and free agency. We're going to get back to that, but I just want to take a moment to look at what we have, guys that I believe could be breakout candidates. Now, throughout free agency, throughout the draft, we could see the depth chart change a little bit. We could see different things unfold to where this could change. We'll do this again closer to the season. But just looking at what we have and guys that we're looking at having breakout years in 2024, these are the guys that I'm really looking at. And it's going to start with Josh Downs, who you could maybe already say kind of already broke out. He had 68 catches, 771 yards, and 2 touchdowns in his rookie season. Now, Colts are a small market team. And it's also, Josh Downs, his rookie season. We weren't a playoff team, so people weren't paying a whole lot of attention to us. It was Gardner Minshew instead of Anthony Richardson, so even more reason not to really pay that much attention to us. And he wasn't a 1,000-yard receiver in his rookie season. So, there are some factors as to why Josh Downs hasn't really broken out, right? Like when I think breakout, I think like household name. People are going to know who these people are. At least, casual fans might not know, but people that pay attention to football will know who these people are. And Josh Downs, I think, is one of those people going into next year. I think with Anthony Richardson coming back, especially, he'll take that jump forward and he will be, that next echelon of, okay, this guy's up and coming. He's a great receiver. He's going to be the guy for a long time. And I think Josh Downs could be the next great Colts receiver. Okay, and I think that Will Mallory could be the next great Colts tight end. We were hoping it was Jelani Woods. I still hope it's Jelani Woods. He's a freak athletically. He's massive, right? 6'7". So it'd be nice to see him stay healthy for one and get on the field and be able to make plays, right? A quarterback that can get the ball downfield. Maybe Jelani Woods is that guy. But what we saw from Will Mallory this past season, I think was promising. We saw kind of what he could do, but he's another guy, got to be able to stay on the field. But he can do a lot of things well. Now, again, this is one of those things that could change if somehow, some way, the Colts end up with Brock Bowers. Then Brock Bowers would be the guy that is going to have the breakout because he's probably going to be a superstar in the NFL. But Will Mallory, I think, showed some good things in year one, even though he, didn't get a whole lot of play. Again, he was hurt from time to time, had 18 catches, 207 yards, but showed that he has some wheels for a big guy. Right, 6'4", 239. He can move for a tight end. And I think he's somebody that going into next season could end up being the guy at tight end and could take that step forward as one of the next great tight ends in the NFL. And then when we sit here and we talk about the defensive side of the ball, I think there are going to be a couple of players that are going to be able to break out. Some young guys that are getting older, having a chance to develop, having a chance to be in this same system again. But now we have new coaches coming in different spots. Okay, and somebody that I think is going to be affected by that is going to be Dio Odangbo. There's a new defensive line coach coming in. And from everything I've seen from people that I trust with the information that they put out there, people that know the game, I think that, the defensive line, I think could be better just because of coaching. I think Gus Bradley could do some different things just because of the coaching and how good the coaching is going to be this upcoming season. So Dio Odangbo with what he's done, right? You look at rookie season, didn't play much. Then 2022 had 31 total tackles, had 5 sacks. Look at 2023, 38 total tackles, 8 sacks. He's still not even a starter, and he's putting up 8 sacks. Now imagine, see, this is the argument for trading Kwity Paye. Imagine a world where Dio Odangbo is a starter, and there is a chance that Dio Odangbo is a starter with Kwity Paye, right? If we don't pay Grover Stewart and don't bring anyone in to fill that slot, it could be Dio Odangbo. One of the reasons he was drafted where he was, even though he had the injury, was because of the fact that he could play inside, he could play outside, he has that versatility, and he is a freak athlete. So Dio Odangbo could be a starter one way or another. He should be a starter with the way he produces, the amount he's able to put pressure on the quarterback. I think is really good. So he's probably the most consistent at getting pressure on the entire team. So I'd like to see him play more. He's a guy that I think will play more in 2023 or in 2024, one way or another. It just has to happen. If you want to be great, it's just going to happen. So Dio is going to be on the field more, I believe, and he's going to be a guy that could take that next step into superstardom. Okay, and somebody that started to get on the field toward the end of the season that we had been calling to get on the field for a long time. A lot of us were talking about Nick Cross finally getting in the lineup. And toward the end of the season, he played a lot more and he was starting to produce. You started to notice him in different games. He was making his impact felt. And you look at his stats, like stats don't boom out to you, right? He has 39 total tackles with 1 interception and 2 passes defended. He also had a block kick back when he was doing special teams. He is phenomenal on special teams. And then he got into the games and was making plays in the run game, was making plays in the pass game. He's not leaving huge open areas in the zones. So coming into next year with actual experience on the field, right? Had plenty of time to learn what he needed to do and to study what he needed to do. He got on the field, made it happen, having some experience going into 2024. I think Nick Cross could be one of the next great safeties in the NFL. Been talking about that since he got drafted. I thought he should have been starting immediately upon being drafted. That didn't happen, but going into next season, I feel really confident in the back end having Nick Cross as a starter. I think he's somebody that can help solidify the secondary here. We obviously know that's a problem. I think secondary is kind of a problem because consistent edge pressure is kind of a problem. Those two kind of work hand in hand. That's a different topic for a different day. Nick Cross is going to be great in the NFL. And we might only get this year, next year from him, and then he leaves because we're not going to pay safety. We'll see. But again, it doesn't matter who he's playing for. I think Nick Cross has every tool he needs to be a great NFL safety, right? And if we're talking about having the tools to be great, Juju Brents is on that list. And I think Juju Brents really would have been, a breakout rookie this season. You look at what he played. He played in 8 games. 2 of those games he was unable to finish, okay? He still had 43 total tackles, 30 of those solo. This is a cornerback getting 30 solo tackles out of his 43 total tackles in 8 games. He also had a forced fumble, he had a fumble recovery, and he had an interception along with 6 passes defended. Juju Brents, his stats would have been absolutely ridiculous for a rookie if he had played the entire season. So going in 2024, well, let's just, assume that our guy Juju is going to be able to stay on the field. And in that instance, Juju is going to dominate. Juju and Jalen Jones on the outside as corners is going to be crazy, which is why we need to pay Kenny Moore so that we can have those 3 in tandem. Have Kenny Moore as the veteran in the secondary that's getting paid big money, and then have the rookies on the outside. I think that's a really good plan for the Colts. I think that's what they should do. I've always thought that's what they should do. Having Kenny Moore is extremely important for that nickel position. And then you have Juju on the outside. Jalen Jones did phenomenal. Didn't get noticed much because he didn't get thrown at much in his rookie season. But Juju, whether it's open field tackling in the run game or open field tackling after a receiver catches the ball, then Juju's going to make that tackle. He's also playing very well against the pass, sticky coverage. He made a couple of mistakes, right? There were a couple of mistakes. The bomb, the 75-yard touchdown, Nico Collins in the last game of the season is on top of that list, right? He wasn't perfect in his rookie season, but going into year 2, I think Juju Brents is going to be a absolute superstar. Like, going to be started. Talk about him in the same breath that we're talking about Sauce Gardner and some of these other young corners coming into the league. And I think he has the potential to be an All-Pro, Pro Bowler next year, but we'll see what happens. I'd like to know your opinion on these 5 guys. Are there anybody else that you think could be a breakout next year? You go ahead, put them down in the comments, and we'll talk about them again at some point. And of course, I appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.